I want to first start off with my favorite shade, which is Glass Slipper. Now this color, it's the color that I am always trying to find when it comes to a blush, and here's the reason why. My favorite all-time blush, we're talking of life, is from Sally Hansen. It's their Natural Beauty and it's in the shade Cherub, and Cherub is the color that I'm always trying to find because every time I wear this I get the same reaction. It's, ooh, rosy cheeks. Ooh, rosy cheeks. You came in from the cold. So this is the perfect, just came in from the cold, rosy cheek, that flesh color that just looks so good on my skin tone. So it's a shade that I'm always trying to replicate. My second favorite is Currently, and Currently is that color that is, it's like the second shade I'm always on the lookout for. I recently picked up a similar shade, which is from Fiona Styles. I think I have worn and talked about this blush quite often. It's called Inferior, and it has that rusted brown shade that you would probably even think, is that a contour shade? Is that a bronzer shade? It has orange in it, it has some red, and of course the brown. It not only warms up dark skin, it just really flatters the skin tone. It's just beautiful. If you have lighter skin tone and you are interested in Currently, I recommend to try it out and see if it would make like a nice matte bronzer for you or even a contour. It is a warm undertone to it, so just go in with a light hand, and also make sure that you also have the corresponding undertone for this as well. I did make a bronzer video on that, so you can check that out if you need some assistance. And then the third pan is Parakeet. When I first looked at Parakeet on Colourpop's website, I thought it would appear like almost like a coral pink on me, but no, it's more of like a toned down version of Glass Slipper. They do have like different shades of pink in it. This would be, I feel, a shade that a lot of different skin tones can wear. It is a wearable pink. It's a pink that would produce like this rosy appearance on fair skin, on medium skin tones, and then on dark skin, it's just gonna appear much brighter on us. So I definitely like Parakeet. Another pan that gives off the same appearance as Parakeet, you wouldn't believe it if you saw it, but this is from Inglot. So it's a hot pink in the pan, but it actually is very buildable and it appears the exact same color as Parakeet. So very much drawn to these shades. I was hoping to have the video up for the Colourpop blushes up this past weekend, but something had happened I had noticed with these blushes from trying them out, and I wanted to take Saturday and Sunday to do a wear test and actually collect some data for you. The first time that I wore it, after I swatched it, I did a picture and so forth for my Instagram. After I applied it to my cheeks, I noticed when I went to wash my face you know, like I usually do in my evening routine to get ready for the night, I noticed that the blush was gone. My blush tends to last throughout the day. We're talking from every other brand that I have. I actually don't keep the blush around in my collection to use if the blush doesn't stay on, at least for a good portion of the day. So with that said, that is exactly what I immediately noticed that first day I wore it was, where's the blush? I immediately noticed that. On Saturday, I was gone from the time from 2 o'clock p.m. in the afternoon until 8:30 p.m. at night. I came home. The blush was not on my cheeks. That's what I wrote. So that did not even last 6 hours. Temperature wise, it wasn't anything that was where I live. It's not where it's like 90 degrees. It's like in the middle. I mean, I'm in Southern California, but my point is I'm not doing anything strenuous. I wasn't working out. I wasn't doing anything in which my makeup would cause for it to disappear. And I always use a setting spray to lock it into place. On Sunday, I wore Glass Slipper and Parakeet mixed together. And this was from the time frame of 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we got home at 6:17 p.m. It lasted for 4 hours. So there is a difference between the 4 hours and the 6 hours. If I'm going to be gone from my home for longer than 4 hours, I'm not going to reach for these blushes to wear. I certainly am not going to reach for these blushes for a makeup event or someplace where I feel I'm not going to be really touching up. That's another thing when I'm out and about. I don't tend to touch up my blush. That's just a personal preference. So it's stopping me from doing that. One of the top factors as to how a blush is going to last throughout the day, or why it naturally will start to fade quickly on our face, is a matter of the skin and its dehydration levels. So if the skin, your skin is in a state of dehydration, it's going to try to pull from whatever moisture it could possibly find. So we do have our products on our face, and it will pull if it can get any type of moisture out of that blush. Now you might think, well, it's a powder blush. How is it pulling any moisture out? Well, you need obviously ingredients to create that powder, and there is liquid substances within that powder itself. So it is drawing out moisture from the powder, and again, that can cause the skin to start to fade. You want to look for sodium PDA or sodium hyaluronic acid in any of your blush products, whether it's a gel, a cream, or also again, check your powder ingredients. Those two ingredients are going to help bind the moisture to the skin, and it's going to, in a sense, kind of trick that area of the skin and thinking, okay, you're not dehydrated anymore, pass by, leave me alone. So you'll see that your blush might last longer throughout the day. The blushes cost $7, so it is, you know, it's inexpensive. And when we know that with Colourpop, that the price point is inexpensive. So I'm thinking, with that said, perhaps the actual dyes and the actual ingredients that is created to produce the actual color registering in our mind, meaning when you look at, let's say, Glass Slipper, your brain will look at Glass Slipper and register, oh, that looks pink. Okay, so the dyes that are actually creating to create that pigment, that actual color in itself, I'm talking about those dyes specifically. With certain dyes and certain ingredients, when they are binded together, and the chemical compound and bonds that they create, what naturally happens is the rays, ultraviolet rays, or the sun itself. You can live, let's say, in a snowy climate, which is also reflecting rays. Basically, when it is hit by light, it will naturally cause a reaction for the color to break apart, and it creates a bleaching effect. The overall quality of them fading to that extent, it's leading me to believe that the actual dye pigment is just not cost effective. It's probably you know, poor quality. For me moving forward, as far as using these three blushes, it will be for a shorter period of time. Basically a time frame that I know that I'm going to be wearing these blushes for 4 hours or less. Anything more than that, either I'm going to have to retouch or just forego that day with wearing those blushes. So again, it's my assumption, but it is something that I noticed, and it's something that of course I do want to share with my viewers. The blushes do offer enough pigment and they do build up on the cheeks. You can kind of adjust the tone and the intensity as you wish. You can mix the different colors like I've been doing. So those are my thoughts and my overall opinion on Colourpop's new pressed powder blushes. And I would love to know your thoughts as well. If this is a product you've already picked up, I would love to know, as well as the viewers, I'm sure would love to know how long they've been lasting on you. Have you noticed any changes in particular? Leave some comments and let's get chatting. Thank you very much for stopping by and watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day or evening. And as always, I'm going to see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.